I am still shocked that Drazah decided to go over to FaZe instead of Optic. I mean, I get it from a roster perspective. Like, if I'm Drazah and my hardest matches that I've played for the last 2 years have been against Celium, Simp, and Abizi, if I'm solely thinking about winning exclusively and only care about that, which I know some of you guys would argue that's like the most important thing and the only thing players should care about, but I disagree with that statement in itself. But if I were Drazah's like manager, or if I were making the decision for him, I would have said, yo, I don't give a fuck what you think. You're going to go play for Optic. Like, if I'm a player, under any circumstance, do I ever, in any capacity, decline a opportunity given to me by Hector and the Optic Call of Duty team? I mean, obviously it worked out for Optic. This guy Kenny is just, the man just rises to the occasion, bro. What was it? What was that map, chat, that had like the trains on the far right and on the far left? It was a street with a couple cars, and in the middle was like a broken building in Berlin. Bro, I will never forget against FaZe in that COD Champs final, or maybe it was Winners Finals or the round right before COD Champ Finals in Vanguard on Berlin. This guy, Kenny, like, legitimately, I've never seen anything like it. The guy just hit his second gear. Like, I don't know about you, but after watching Kenny for years and years and years, having him part of LA Thieves, and I mean this with all due respect, bro, there were certainly maps and events where I'm like, yo, this guy is supposed to be our fucking all-star, superstar player, and he's having a couple stinker maps, you know, and I'm not saying it's because he wasn't performing well. Like, sometimes that's just the way it goes. Your timings are completely off. Like, it seems like every time you die, you're just not in a favorable situation to get a kill, and you need to pull off something fucking miraculous just to get out of the cycle that you're in. It happens, bro. You guys might not think that happens to pro players, but sometimes there are just like, you are stuck in a 2-3 minute fucking cycle where it just feels impossible to get a kill. And that would happen every now and again for Kenny. I don't know if that was the exact situation why, you know, he would have like highs and lows, but he was definitely a streaky player when he was a part of LA Thieves. But every time they made it to like a final, whether it was at a major or at COD Champs, Kenny would turn into like a different player. And I have this visceral memory of him on Berlin fighting around like the second story area. I don't remember the hard points, but it was the hard point that, or maybe even in Control, when it was by the street side in that second story building where there's the staircase up and on each side. And this guy was just P2. Perfect, Danny. My man's locked. Kenny was on P2, and it was just like he literally hit another gear that no other player was able to hit. I mean, the guy was just in flow state, and there was nothing anyone was going to do to stop him. Like, he was willing a win into existence. I know that sounds dramatic or could sound corny, but I think that's just like the X factor of Kenny, brother. He just shows up when he needs to the most, and he shows up better and bigger than everybody else. Like, what, that first hard point against NYSL in the grand finals, I think he was like 28-15. And if you look at like just the week alone of COD Champs, there were moments where he was like tweeting about, yo, I couldn't get a kill this third map. I couldn't get a kill that map. Like, I think that's like such a tippable attribute that not many players have, where I think you can always rely on Kenny to perform at the highest level when he needs to the most. I'm really happy for Pred. Pred seems like a good kid, even though he's bullshitting in that podcast, talking about, oh, I remember watching Road to Master Prestige and Nadeshot was getting shit on. Shut the fuck up, dude. You tell me you remember watching a video from 2013 when we were playing League Play, just slamming kids. Like, League Play wasn't even like ranked as it is today. There were no good players, bro. There was nobody. Shut the fuck up, Pred. I'm happy for you though, bro. But yeah, I think all of this is getting kind of blown out of proportion. It's tough, man. But even when I was playing on Optic, I totally like I understood why other players would either hate Optic or hate the situation they're in because we always had like a quote unquote advantage because the crowd was always behind us. Like I would put myself in other people's shoes and I'm like, man, it would be hard to play against Optic. It would suck. Especially if you think you're like a better player, a better team, you deserve more recognition, even though you're not getting it. I get it, but this is just like how the Call of Duty community is and how it's been since the dawn of fucking time. So, no, Looney, I'm not. I appreciate that. Like, I appreciate the sentiment, but there were definitely times where it was like, oh fuck, like I would not want to be that guy on the other team. And it's like there really is nothing different between me and him other than the fact that I joined Optic at the right time and yada yada yada. But I'm just saying, like, I can see both sides of the argument, bro. But that's why in my head, like, why I brought up Drazah. I'm like, if you get an opportunity to join Optic, you fucking take it, bro. Under any circumstance, do you ever say no to Optic? I just can't, I can't put myself in that place mentally to, but at the same, actually, I can't put myself in that place mentally. Like, Simp, Abizi, Celium, that almost seems and feels like a sure thing. Like, you're going to walk out of that team with at least a handful of championships. Like, at minimum, bro. So, I don't know. Yo, Pimp Chimp Chris,